rat. There is a rat in my BnB. What do you do when a guest reports a rat in your BnB? In this episode, we talk about that. We approach the scary topic of politics, the emotional roller coaster of transitioning from W-2 to entrepreneurship, which is a continuation of episode number 164. So if you haven't listened to that, I recommend going back. We also talk about predatory lending, right? And then we get into how my kids are adjusting to nomadic life and nomadic living and being selective who we spend our time with. And I want to quote this to give you an episode insight on what's happening here. This is a quote from Jeff Menefee in this episode. And it's, if $10,000 will dramatically improve a recent college graduate's life, we've got bigger problems. If you want to chat about anything we've discussed here today, giving myself a number at the end, so be sure to stick around. This is episode number 172 of the W2 Capitalist podcast.
Yeah, back to the whole trades thing. Like, I think Max Maxwell said, and I was scrolling through the internet the other day, and he had a really good quote. He's like, "We're like in an information age where like it's all there. Like college is fantastic, but you should only do it if you have like a really specific focus on what you want to do."
Right.
Because like you can go take a 10 grand course or hire like a coach for, like $5,000, or like, he's like, coaches I'm hiring are like 100 grand. And you could get some specific knowledge. And I brought this up to my union the other day because I've been like gently trolling my shipping union because they're going through election period, and they're just like, they're like knife fighting each other. They're like, "You're a bastard, blah blah blah." And I'm sitting back here like, let's raise the wages, like just they're like, how much should a starting third engineer make? They're like $80,000, and I'm like $250,000. It's like one vote
poking the bear.
$250 million. Yeah. But like they were like, we should hire a full-time contract negotiator. And I was like, Brody, don't. But I was like, hey, this is exactly what we were talking about. Instead of hiring some guy who went to school for negotiating and give him $100,000 salary and jack up our, union fees and expenses, like we're trying to cut them down. Why not just send everybody to like the Chris Voss, Black Swan negotiating and do like a private, like give Chris, Mr. Voss, 50 grand and say, can you train these idiots how to negotiate?
Right.
Because like we're all sailors, we're all idiots when it comes to negotiating. I'm not gonna lie. Like if anybody's like, I'm a good negotiator, I'm like, no, Captain, shut up. Like you're a terrible negotiator. You lean on the captain.
You just scream at people and they do what they're told.
Yeah, like you lean on the captain thing too hard. That doesn't make you a good But like get them in the Chris Voss thing, use tactile empathy, use mirroring, use all that stuff, get in there and like have the man himself teach you how to do it. It's like we don't have to hire 120 grand a year, like drop half of that and there's your 4-year term, you know. And go do a refresher.
You spread well,
and you spread the wealth over 5-6 people.
Yeah,
and it's like, why not just do
wait. You want to train your employees to be a better negotiator, so when they come to the union, negotiate what?
Yeah, it's like,
why would you want them to be smarter than you? That'd be stupid.
Yeah, a society to think that the next logical thing to getting out of high school is to go to college, so you get in debt by hundreds of thousands of dollars, so you can immediately go to the workforce and be pinned down to a job for the rest of your life.
No.
Did any of y'all get loans?
What's that?
Did any of y'all get loans?
Oh,
or
yeah.
you had parents that paid for it?
No, I was quite in debt. Now I will say my parents paid for my living expenses. But when I was a senior in college, I'm looking at like big schools, Auburn. I was looking at Auburn, whatever, and my parents were like, well, that's awesome. Who's going to pay for that? And extremely gullible and extremely confident, I said, well, you guys are. and that's exactly how they responded, Brody. And I man, hello real world. They're like, no, you got a dose of reality coming your way. Your brother figured out a way to pay for him to go to college. You got to figure it out too. And so my route was primarily student loans, but they did help with the housing.
So I would assume all y'all are against this $10,000 $1 credit that Biden just gave?
No, I don't give a shit.
I don't care. I don't care anymore about politics.
Yeah, it
Well,
wasn't.
I mean, I'm not asking on a political level. I'm just asking on like,
Yeah,
I don't care.
I think but it's going to be like the same. The reaction is like out in California, like they're like the legislature said, like, first time home buyer $50,000 credit or something. What was that about? Why is all the house prices going up? It's
Yeah.
like
Huh.
doing this is just supporting the predatory lending habits
think-
of
yeah,
like
I think
student
it's
loans.
just
It's
gonna-
like, oh, we can increase our fees by 10 grand or whatever. Like, it's like, God damn it, didn't
Just
work.
gonna make it worse. It's
Yeah,
just a
like,
broken system.
yeah.
Unless
lot
you're
of
the
opinions
one
about it.
being lobbied to make the system work the way it is, then it's not broken.
Then it's working great. Yeah.
It's working great.
I think it's working exactly like they want it to work,
exactly. Yeah.
in my opinion.
What do you think about it, Jeff?
I just don't think it fixes anything. I think it's
doesn't.
just like, throwing somebody a bone. Like, you're not really solving anything. You're just pissing one side off and not really helping or saving the other person. Like if 10K is going to like make the difference between some college graduate's life, I think you have bigger problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about
the
why
promise
they're
was all the loans, right? Wasn't that the promise? We're going to wipe away all the loans. But I think,
I don't know.
I haven't figured this out yet, so I'm speaking a little bit tongue in cheek, but let's look at the COVID stimulus and the federal funds for unemployment and everything else, and what's happened to the labor force since COVID. It's definitely hasn't gotten any better. I'll tell you that. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So
Doesn't take a
Well, it's gone
doctor.
back down to
Doesn't take a
7%,
doctor.
right?
do what?
He's
Back during COVID, it was like 17, right? It was something crazy.
Inflation's what you're talking about. It's what you're trying
No,
to spell out.
no. It's February or March 2020, April of 2020. It was 14% unemployment, which was hilarious. That's crazy.
Unemployment.
Yeah, and then it's down to 3.5%, which is the lowest it's ever been in since ever. It's actually the lowest it's ever been.
Is that a national level?
I just Googled it. United States. Yep.
Well, then it's perfect.
I have that is hard to believe that it's the lowest ever, because I feel like everywhere I go, people don't have anybody to work.
Yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it? I agree with you. I feel like the anecdotal evidence says that, I can't get people to work here, but literally, I mean, Google would never lie to me.
No, Google would not lie.
Google never lies to me.
They would never control the data.
The Associated Press would never lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what I said now.
He interrupted us
Sorry.
to bring us that breaking news from Google.
Breaking news.
That's awesome. Jeff, did you finish your thought? I can't remember.
I just wanted a little input, and no, I mean that was the basics of it. I just don't think I think it's nothing. Like, I don't think it does anything except piss people off.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. I see both sides that we could have a predatory lending system, but I also am a big believer in like personal accountability. And if I sign my name to something saying that I'm going to pay it back, I go into it or try and go into it knowing that that's going to be paid back. Now, can I say that I would have done that at 18, 19, 20? Probably not. But
and then if you were given a debt forgiveness by a certain party president, how would you vote in the future if you believe that the voting machines are accurate and not?
Now, I would just say, I mean, isn't that, let's play devil's, isn't that what the wealthy's doing with the tax code?
Sure.
We're mainly Republican.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's a fair statement, but
I think that's apples and oranges. I think there's a law. Well, I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
All right.
I would take
back
advantage
to
of
I don't
this.
care.
I mean, if someone's going to give me something, I'm going to say thank you, and we'll keep moving forward. I don't know if it's really going to change my opinion on how I vote, but that's me.
All right, I gotta go. She's dragging me out of here. We got to go back to this conference. So,
all right.
I'm done.
Thanks for making time, Jeff. Good luck at the conference, man, and your properties. Brody, what do you want to talk about, sir? What's on your mind?
Well, I don't know. It's been kind of fun doing vacation for the last couple of weeks. Um, Still like doing obviously working vacations, like we've been plugging away, like been getting up early, but then like spending time with family. Like I really enjoy that flexibility that I didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm kind of like it drives me more like after this month, like it's much clearer as to why I'm doing this versus like, getting kind of like lost and like feeling trashed in the in
Yeah.
the trenches, you know.
You got over that
Don't
emotional hurdle that you're going to survive.
Well, I still haven't gotten through that yet, but I have I have given myself a reason to live.
There you go. Oh yeah, I can
So
understand that.
yeah, it's like because like again, we're never going broke. Still have a trade, still can go back work with the union on ships and be a W-2 employee. Great W-2 employee, but to figure out the financial independence angle of learning to invest and doing all that and running a successful like wholesaling and investing business is like a completely different animal I've never tried to attempt before. So there's going to be hiccups, and after just getting held in the corner of the boxing ring and punched in the face a bunch, I'm just like, whoo, and then getting reconnected with family and like doing fun stuff like hanging on the lake all day today and still managed to take care of aspects of business was like, yep, that's why I'm doing it. All right, cool. Let's
Yeah.
figure out how to get one of these cool lakeside mansions,
Yep.
something like that. Maybe not that crazy, but you get
You must,
Maybe. Why
you
not?
must have lathered up on some sunscreen, man. It doesn't look like you got any kind of sun today.
Oh wow, it's just this lighting, I guess. I mean, I think
I
I'm
mean, you're
pretty
still
tan.
handsome. You're just not sunburned handsome.
Damn. No, we all got sunburned, man. We all were getting baked out there. I was driving the boat, so I was under the bimini top the whole time.
There you
So
go.
I didn't really catch a lot of rays. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of a nice feeling. You guys ever thinking about, does this spark your interest, or do you ever have any interest in living a nomadic lifestyle? I know probably sometime in the future for y'all, just given Caitlin's duties and
Status.
responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. My parents were actually talking about that today. It was like selling the house or turning it into a pad split. And then freaking getting a RV and driving around.
Telling you, man, I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's an adjustment period there too, by the way.
Mhm. Well, I think Caitlin and I, that's something we've been talking about too. Like, we really want to like, because we're obviously kind of headed of the season of kids here soon. Like, so season 2, I don't know what season that is in marriage. Season 3,
Season of
maybe.
kids.
Yeah, season 3.5. But we were talking about how we wanted to live somewhere like nice, stable, and like starting to think more like that. Um, but like have somewhere where we're stationary and there's like a ton of other kids. So like,
Mm.
I feel like traveling, like, and Jay, like obviously you're gonna weigh in on this too, but like do you feel like your kids get enough like social interactions and stimulus while your guys are bouncing around a lot, or is that something you think they're going to be lacking in?
They well,
If there's 3 of them too, so they're kind of interacting with one another.
they know each other's buttons and they like to push them pretty frequently. They they uh they thrive to, or you can see the desire there to hang out with more kids. And one, we don't have that close, obviously. I mean, we've been traveling, but even back when in Florida, when we're there, we don't have a close group of friends that we hang out with on a routine basis. We just don't. We're homebodies, which sounds ironic for me to say that, but we're introverted. We don't go out and make new friends. We're very picky about who we hang out with and spend our time with. I mean,
Thanks.
No, I'm serious.
No, I feel flattered because you actually, yeah, because you're picky on who you spend time with. So I do actually appreciate
we
you spending
do.
time with us.
But one of the things that we go to playgrounds frequently, and our kids know exactly how to go up and talk to other kids that they've never met before.
Oh, that's good.
and introduce themselves and say, hey, what's your name? Like one of the things my son loves to do is go up and meet a kid. They got start going playing tag or whatever. Hey, do you play, whatever the game is, Minecraft or Brawl Stars or whatever? They swap user IDs. Now they become online friends and they get online and play games together. Right. And so that has been amazing to see.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, that's been really cool. And then, we've gone to playgrounds and whatnot, and they're hot or tired, and they want to sit and mope and whatever. And then I'm like, hey, I get to reference somebody they met before, and how that kind of relationship blossomed. So there is the need for that. And I think with us taking breaks, like we're planning to go back into Florida. We're going to start our way there next week, and we'll be there for 2.5-3 months. Signed our oldest one up for soccer, so he's going to play soccer this year. We won't know anybody on the team, but at least he'll have some interaction. And then the girls, as they get a little older, I mean, they're almost inseparable. Like if one gets to go do something, the other one gets super jealous or misses her, misses their sister, like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think we've got to be very cautious of that and kind of introduce them. But we're very selective, and initially it kind of bothered both Cassie and I said, look, I don't think it should bother us as much as it is bothering us. I said, because look at how when you grew up, where were you, when you got of age, where were you on Friday night? Where was I on Friday night? We were at home. We turned out okay.
Yeah.
We turned out okay. But no, we're just very selective about, and we have noticed this too. Like you meet the wrong family or the wrong kids, and those bad habits, our kids pick those up pretty quick. And then we have to,
beat it out of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Some days.
Call back to last
adjustment.
But yeah, no, it's interesting to kind of look back and reflect on how they've grown with their social skills. And our middle daughter, she'll go up to a playground. She does not realize that she's 5 and the other girls are like 10 and 12. Right? She's like in there with them doing all the stuff they're doing. I'm like, let's slow down, And so it's cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think it's ironic at all. Just wanted to say that you guys are doing a nomadic kind of lifestyle. If you're naturally a little introverted or kind of homebody,
Yeah.
I think it's probably easier for you in a way than it would be for somebody who's really connected or has a lot of friends that they hang out with on a regular basis. Not meaning
No,
that to
you're
sound bad,
right.
but
You're right.
like I feel like Blair would never do it. I think it would be fun, but like we are like social butterflies. We're always out. We've got a bunch of people on the street and in the neighborhood that we hang out with on a regular basis. I think it'd be really hard for us to live that kind of lifestyle, or leave
that behind for
group.
even a little bit.
Yeah. But then the second thought on this conversation is I could see how this could potentially be better for your kids to learn, like socializing, meeting new people, kind of getting past that awkward introduction phase. Because my kids, even with kids they know in the neighborhood, if they don't see them like every day, they'll still get like shy and awkward. And it takes like a few minutes to break that ice because they've got their little posse of people they do know really well that they kind of float around, like and can kind of be dependent on, versus when you're, traveling the world, you have to go make new friends, if you want to play with somebody. So
you're forced to. Yeah.
It's interesting.
And I'm relieved as an adult that we don't have to do that as
See, man, that's where we differ. I still love meeting new people. I love it.
I have to.
You have to. Yeah. I wanted us to talk about your rat situation.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that next time.
Sure.
I don't know what this is, so I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay, so quick preview. We had a guest that
tune in next week for
tune in next week for the situation where we had a classical case, and again, we would have fixed it if we were notified. Like I went in there ready to exterminate a rat. Like I came in guns blazing.
Let's call it a mouse, like a teeny tiny mouse.
Yeah, but so a guest caught a video of a mouse running through the kitchen at the Airbnb they were staying at, and they sent it to us at 8 o'clock, 2 hours before they were supposed to check out the last day, and they said I wanted a full refund because they saw evidence of mouse droppings throughout the week, this and that, and it was just like, guys, you're not supposed to do that 2 hours before. You're supposed to let us know right away.
Isn't that part of the fun of the Airbnb? We stayed at a cabin in Gatlinburg, Severville, where there were mice in the walls.
Sevierville,
whatever it's called.
Sevierville.
I mean, there were mice in the walls that made a nest in my mom's shoe. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to downplay it. It's like a nicer, like the idea is nicer, but it is a older house, so there's probably some holes here and there that it could have got in through. So we had, like I said, we had Task Force Brody and then actual, our pest control company there coming in, breacher number 2, probably about 30 minutes after me. And they found a bunch of stuff and sealed it up. And then I sealed some stuff up. And it was just like, okay, we set some traps out, cleaned everything up, sanitized everything, knocked on some cabinets, ran a vacuum underneath some stuff to see if we can catch the little guy.
Suck it up.
We haven't seen him since. So it's just been one of those things where it was like, we're really sorry. We would have refunded you the day you notified us and given you the option to leave. You waited till the last day. So there's nothing we can do and then we actually kind of like stuck to Airbnb policy. It was like, the minute you notify us is when we try to fix it.
Can take action.
And you notified us 2 hours before you're supposed to leave. And it was one of those things where it was we were taking a risk because they've never used Airbnb before. They had no reviews. So I don't know if if they knew this coming in or, they knew that somebody told them like, oh, you can get a free, and maybe told them how to game the system. I
brought
can't
their own mouse.
No, I doubt it was that. But like it, it was one of those things like nobody notified them that like, if you have an issue in a hotel, you don't wait till the last day. You're usually calling the front desk like right away.
Yeah.
Same rules apply, I don't know. So that's kind of what we can talk about next time, and how that it was a long text chain. A lot of back and forth between Caitlin. She was stressed out for about 24 hours, and that was on family vacation too.
Yeah.
So
can't wait to hear all about it next time.
Maybe we can have her on as a guest.
Yeah,
there we go.
Absolutely.
Hop in. Yeah. But
all right.
I was just there as emotional support.
When you leave a review, and I hope you do, don't forget to tell us who you are and leave 5 stars. That's from Dirty Jobs Micro. Listen, guys, if you're interested in exploring any of the products or services that I use to make my real estate investing career easier, or you want to explore joining us in the W2 Capitalist community where you can hang out with guys like myself, Brody, Jamie, and Jeff on a routine basis, there's going to be a link somewhere in the description or comments or something like that, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. But as promised, if you have any questions whatsoever, or you feel like I can help you in anything we talk about here today on this episode or any of the previous episodes, send me a text. I was going to say, give me a call, but chances are, if you're not in my phone book, I'm not going to answer. So send me a text. Let me know what episode you're listening to and how I can potentially help you. We'll find a time to get on a call. Okay. My cell phone number is 205-249-0248.